Oh, here we go. Awesome. With the waiting room. How's everybody doing this evening? Hope all is well. Sorry, Tim. We let you on. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. I'm gonna give everybody a few minutes to jump on um, before I get started, so I don't have to repeat information too much. In the meantime, I'd like to say thank you all for joining us on your Sunday evening for this parent meeting. Looks like we got people in the car. We got people outside. I like to see the different sceneries. That's it. Nothing wrong with that. Get to spend a little bit of the Sunday with you guys. And when we figured out the time for this, I didn't take into consideration that the Colts would be playing right in the middle of it, but hopefully you guys will be able to see the majority of it, or you got it on the side and everything's going well. Let me give it one more minute, then I'm gonna get started. This meeting will be recorded and we'll be sending it out again afterwards. In case you guys are in the car and you can't take notes, you'll get the meeting so you can see that, and we'll send a little bit of notes with it. So that'll be helpful. All right, well, let's get started here. First off, like I said, I would like to say thank you guys for taking time out of your Sunday evening to hear more about our teams that we're going to be launching this fall and winter. Um, During this meeting, I'll be covering my name is Nick Daniels. I'm the owner of M14 Hoops Indianapolis. I'm also head of player and staff development for the entire brand of M14, and I've been with us since the very, very beginning. During this meeting, I will be covering the following, give you guys a little bit of history on M14, talk about the team structure, our coaching approach, tryout, give you guys some more tryout details, talk about fees and schedules. Also go over some commonly asked questions. The further we get into this, the more questions we receive. So we got some answers to some other questions that you guys might have had, and then I'll open the floor for you to ask any questions. If you're afraid you might forget your question, you could drop it in the message section of this meeting, right? And then at the end, I can kind of go through it, and I'll still give you guys the floor to be able to ask that question as well. Um, I just ask that you guys hold the questions to the end so that we can get through everything. Okay. First off, M14 was obviously founded in 2009 in Aurora, Illinois, by a gentleman named Matt Miller. In 2016, we started up. I was sent down to Indy to open up what was then our second location. And after 9 years of offering skill development training only in Indy, I'm thrilled to say we're unleashing teams to offer the complete developmental system with M14 Hoops. Okay, offering teams will now allow us to help players when it matters the most in the games, as you guys all know. I mean, we've heard the feedback from the parents, all of the concerns and different things that you've had to navigate and asking us to go into teams. And we're finally happy to announce that we'll be able to do that. In regards to structure, we'll have three different levels for our team, meaning junior prep, which is for first through second grade boys and second grade girls. The next level is what we call middle school prep, which is third through fourth grade boys and girls. And then we got high school prep, which is fifth through eighth grade boys and girls, which would be intermediate and middle school age players. Okay. In regards to building teams, M14 does things differently than everybody else. And when it comes to the teams, we aren't going to shy away from that. We're going to continue to make sure we're offering that quality for you guys. So we're doing 2-day tryouts. So for our first through sixth grade boys, their trials will be this upcoming week on Friday and Saturday, the 19th and the 20th. And then the following week will be for the second through eighth grade girls and seventh and eighth grade boys. on the 27th and the 28th. So we are doing 2-day tryouts. The reason for that is we want to get it right. Okay, so it gives us enough time to really look at each player and evaluate them properly so that we can place them on the correct team. Okay, because we do take this process seriously. So we're doing it with 2 days. Questions that we get from parents is, what if my player can only make one day? Well, that'll be the only day we're able to evaluate your player. So whether it's good or bad, if they had a bad day, that's all we'll have to base off of for their evaluation. And if they had a good day, great, awesome. But so if they only can make one day, not a problem. We just only have that day to be able to evaluate them. Now, majority of the players that are signed up for trials and that will come to trials have done our program, so we are familiar with them. But like we told you guys during the parent meetings for our fall academy training program and our spring academy training program, evaluating for a class for training and evaluating for teams are two different criterias. So we will take that stuff into consideration, but we need those trials to be able to really, really look at your player from that lens to be able to help them. In regards to rosters, we want to go, it'll be 8 to 10 players per roster. And the reason why we go up to 10, because obviously this is our first go around, and some grade levels might only allow it, we might only be able to offer one team. And at that moment, if we have 10 players that are good enough to play on that team, we'll probably go with 10 there, but we want to stay away from 10 if we can. So really 8 is that number, but the team could be anywhere from 8 to 10 players. We will offer multiple teams per grade level if possible. So it all depends on who all shows up to tryouts. If we have enough players to offer 3 teams at a grade level, we absolutely will. But it comes down to making sure that we have the right mix of players for each team for that. So, but we will offer multiple teams per grade level if we have the right mix of kids and enough players. Trial details, like I said, first round of tryouts will be next Friday and Saturday for first through sixth grade boys at the Best Choice Fieldhouse. The next weekend on Saturday and Sunday, we will have trials for second through eighth grade girls and seventh and eighth grade boys. Trials will be located at the Best Choice Fieldhouse. If you haven't been there, it's located in Fishers, right off of 69 and 116th. You can see it right off of 69 when you kind of going on that overpass for Route 37. Okay. The full schedule
I'll have the red and the white.
is outlined on our website registration page.
Also, my noob.
The exact time that your player
I have to walk our base. I'll be in charge of walking my base.
Can everybody
Okay. Okay, guys, go to my office room. Go.
Sarba, do you mind muting yourself, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was not on mute. My
No
apologies.
worries. No worries at all. It's all good. But the full schedule for our tryouts is outlined on our website and registration page. So you'll be able to see what times tryouts will be on those days for your players. Coaching and development. Obviously, you guys know we're a development company, skills development company, and us offering teams isn't going to be any different, right? Development first. Really, it's at the ages that we're going to be offering teams, first through eighth grade. It's all about development for us. We want to make sure that the players are continuing to get better, and we have a different focus for each grade level for development that I will go over at the end. Obviously, we all want to win games, and we want to teach them how to be competitive, and we're trying to win, but never at the expense of development. So all of our staff has to go through staff development and coaching clinics. So just like our staff has to go through staff development and a new hire process in order to get certified to work for us, from a training standpoint, there's another certification and staff development course that our staff has to go through in order to be able to coach our teams. Okay, we do have a system, and our coaches must coach according to that system. So this isn't one of those things where we're going to hire somebody or our coaches are able to coach a team and put in their own offense and their own system. It's going to be the M14 system and offense that each coach will be implementing. Okay, so they don't have the freedom to be able to do any of that. All right, and they understand that when they accept the coaching position for this first season. All of our teams are going to be coached by our full-time staff, which you guys are all familiar with if you've done M14 before. If you haven't, they're a great group of guys. And myself, I am included in that list. So your team, your coach's team, or excuse me, your players' team will either be coached by myself, Coach Randy, Coach Eric, Coach Deontay, or Coach Arion. We will have some of our part-time staff serving as assistants in case there is some schedule conflicts, but it will be coached by one of us. All right. The main focus is to make sure each player accomplishes their grade level individual objectives while also ensuring each player had a positive experience. Right. That's really, really important to us. Obviously, winning a bunch of games is not the priority here. Obviously, we want to win, but it's more about them having that positive experience, and we check off those boxes of the individual objectives that I will go over at the end. Okay. Does that all make sense? Perfect. Again, our staff is not perfect. Okay, we're gonna make mistakes, but we have systems in place to ensure those mistakes are quickly and professionally handled, so the focus can remain where it should be on the players. Coaching assignments. So we get a lot of questions. Which one of you guys will be coaching my player? Because I know some of these kids have favorites, which is totally okay. We design it that way, right? They should naturally like the coach that's working with their class more than the rest of them. Doesn't mean they don't love the rest of us too, but obviously they're gonna draw a little bit different connection with them. So with our coaching assignments, that won't be announced until a week before the first game. So we got to see how the rosters shake out, and then we'll divide out the teams based on who we think is the best fit. But again, like I said, it'll be one of us full-time guys. And we already have started like fighting over some certain groups. It'll probably be the guy running your kid's class, but there's no guarantee that it's that. Okay. We just are more concerned with getting it right. All right. So our directors, just like I told you guys before, we do things different. And that's not going to change with the team. So in regards to practices, our directors are going to run practices. So it isn't going to be, oh, here's your coach. You're going to go over here and do your practice. No. The practices will be run by myself, Coach Randy, or Coach Eric. So what we try to do is have that all the teams for that grade level or within a grade above or a grade below practicing at the same time. And it'll run like the structure of our training sessions where, hey, let's say I'm running it, I put in our offense or put in whatever drill we're going to do. All right, now go to the basket with the coach and run through that drill. So it will be run by us. Okay. I'm more concerned with getting it right. So having the right coach is a big deal. So we like to see the team to make sure the coach we put with them is a great fit. Obviously, this might be a new concept to all of you guys, but it isn't to Team M14. Okay, this is exactly how we do it at our headquarters in Chicago, and it's worked out really, really nice for us. Okay, and then the last question I always get is, what about winning? Obviously, we want to play to win. Okay, but our staff is never allowed to sacrifice development to get a win. Okay, we believe that proper execution will lead to the correct result, and individually and as a team. So, an example of that, we're coming down the stretch, fourth or fifth grade game. Okay, we're not going to all of a sudden change up what we're doing. Like we're going to let those kids get those reps in crunch time. So every kid's going to get opportunity to have some reps in crunch time because that's development, right? We don't want them to all of a sudden get to eighth grade or get to high school, and that's the first time that they've actually mattered or they had to execute down the stretch in crunch time. So every kid's going to get that. That's why it's important that we evaluate everybody properly so we can put them in the right spot for that. But at the end of the day, if we lost because we gave a kid a chance to make a play or handle the ball in fifth grade in crunch time, then they learned and we got better. And that's what it is. So if that's not what you guys are looking for, it's probably the wrong program. Ultimately, just like our training program, the goal is to get them ready for high school. Okay, I tell parents this all the time. In eighth grade, my team went winless. We were 0 in how many ever teams we played that year? 0 in whatever, right? Three of those players on that team, which was one of them with being me, we all started varsity when we got to high school. And we won. And then fast forward to when I received my 4 scholarships. Not one of those coaches asked me about eighth grade when we didn't win a game, or in eighth grade when I went 0 for 20 when my best friend got hurt and he couldn't play. So I figured like I had to put the team on my back and I didn't make a shot. So they didn't worry about that. They just wanted to know how I can help them win games now. Like, so if I didn't go through those different phases and have an opportunity to compete in crunch time, to be the guy, to have the ball in my hands, I would have never developed into the player that they wanted on the team. So again, it's development first. Yes, we want to win. We're going to coach to win. We're going to get them to play the right way, but it's going to be development first at those younger ages. Okay. Practices will be 2 times a week. either Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday. For first and second grade teams, the practice will be 60 minutes because obviously at that age, their attention span isn't too long, right? So you start stretching past that, you're going to lose them, and it becomes a lot. We want to keep this a positive experience for them. Third through eighth grade, it will be 90-minute practices. Okay, so either Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and those practices will stay consistent throughout the entire season. Okay, all practices will be held at Best Choice. I know we put on the website it can be Best Choice of Noblesville. We got that whole schedule figured out. So all the practices will be at the Best Choice Fieldhouse. We will be under one roof. That's where they will be at. Okay. The season does begin, so practices will start officially the week of October 13th. So if your player is in our fall academy or plans on signing up for the winter overtime academy, they will the seasons do overlap, but it's no different than if they were playing for another team. The seasons always overlap. That's why we offer that makeup session on Friday. So let's say your player makes our seventh grade black team, and they're in the seventh, eighth grade class that runs on Mondays and Thursdays, and their practice is on Mondays and Wednesdays. Well, they need to be at practice on Monday, just like we tell them with any other team. Then they can make their training session on Thursday, and then make up Monday's practice on Friday. That way they got their sessions in. It just overlaps for a few weeks.
Where Eric at? I got something for Jay Lee.
Winbush, D. Winbush, you don't mind shooting yourself. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
If they overlap, then that's where the Makeup Friday comes into play. In regards to winter overtime, we will winter overtimes Fridays and Sundays. We don't practice on Fridays, so there shouldn't be any conflict there. The only conflict could be if they had a game on a Sunday that overlapped. Generally, we stay in the evening, so they really don't collide. But we will offer the 1 day a week option, so you can either do Fridays or just Sundays, or they can do both. We will have that option for our winter overtime. And that's something that we implemented last year, and it worked out really well. Just because there's so much going on with their schedules, and we don't want to stop players from being able to train with, especially kids that have been in our program and want to continue to work on their game and get better. So that's the answers to that. For holiday breaks, we will be off. So the week of Thanksgiving, we'll be off from November 24th to the 28th, and then the 2 weeks of Christmas we take off. Man, go enjoy your families. You don't have to worry about getting to practice and all that. And then we'll pick back up really that next week after New Year's. Okay. Fees and gear package for junior prep, which is first and second grade. The fee is $9.95. Included in that fee. So then I'll tell you, and in the middle school and high school prep, which is third through eighth grade, it is $1,200. Okay. Included in that fee is the gear package. So since this is everybody's first go around, okay, it's included, it's baked into the fee. All right. And the gear package is $225. So essentially for our junior prep, the price is $770. And $225 of that is the gear package fee. And then for the middle school prep, it is $990. I think that's what that is. Because $225 goes to $975, excuse me. Because $225 is for $995, sorry. Because $225 of it is the gear package fee. Okay. That price is for, we don't split the fall and winter up. So you might look at the price like, oh, that seems like a little bit much. But if you look at everybody else that competes in IYBL or the other programs, it is it's the same price. It's just we don't divide it. We go fall and winter season together. So it is a long season. It'll be 16 weeks. So in that 16 weeks, they'll get 32 practices. They'll get 16 games plus 2 tournaments. 32 practices, 16 games, 2 tournaments. With the IYBL, because we will compete in the IYBL into the fall season, they'll do a tournament, and then the end of the winter season, they'll do a tournament. So it can be more than, so a minimum of 18 games, but it can be more than that if they continue to win in the tournament. Remember, it's win or go home with that if your player has played in IYBL. Gear package includes a reversible game jersey and shorts. It will be an Adidas jersey and shorts. They'll get a practice jersey. It's a reversible practice jersey. This year, we are going to, just for this season, because we are kind of like, we have a short amount of time from when they sign up and we order the jerseys and getting them before they have to play their first game. That's kind of a toss up. So we're going to put numbers on put their number on their practice jersey. As we get deeper into M14 teams 2-3 years from now, we probably won't put numbers on it because we'll have the jerseys already. But for right now, to be safe, just to make sure that we have something for the first week of games. We will put their number on it, okay? But it'll be a practice jersey. They'll get a shooting shirt, and then they'll get a backpack. So that is the gear package. That 225 gives you reversible game jersey and shorts, which will be an Adidas jersey, a reversible practice jersey, shooting shirt, and a backpack. After tryouts, we will be making phone calls to offer your player a spot on the team. Okay. So if your player is a 1st through 6th grade boy, we will start making calls on Sunday. That Sunday, because trials are Friday and Saturday. We'll start making calls on Sunday, and we'll probably hopefully get them all concluded by Monday or Tuesday. From there, you will have 24 hours to accept your player spot. And to accept your player spot, you'll make a $500 deposit, and then the remaining balance due will come out as in 3 auto drafts: one in November, one in December, one in January. And then for the following week, if you have a 7th and 8th grader or 2nd through 8th grade girl, we'll start making those calls on Monday, the 29th. So please plan to get a phone call from us on those days, because we will be making the calls, and it'll be me and my full-time staff calling out to let you know what team your player made, who else is on that roster. We will tell you on the phone call. We're not gonna send it out until we get everybody committed, because obviously if somebody doesn't commit, it's next man up that'll get bumped up to the other team. We do ask that you guys, and I'll say this in the parent meeting, that you guys don't share that team with anybody else until we've talked to them. We think it's just out of respect. It's probably best that they hear from us and not somebody else. And yes, everybody will hear something from us either way, whether your player made it or did not make it. We will communicate to you guys. Common parent questions that we've been receiving. One is playing for school teams. Can my kid play for a school team and play for M14? The answer is yes. We just say you can do 2 out of the 3, never 3 out of the 3. So your kid can't do M14 school team and another tribal team. Like, that just isn't going to work. But a school team and M14 team should work. Obviously, the school ball stuff is done during the week, and they practice right after school. So we're going to practice later in the evening. Generally, it won't be any conflicts. But if there is a conflict, we got 2 practices a week. They should be able to make one of those, and then be able to make the games on the weekend. We just say, please communicate that to us so that we know that when we're building a team, and we can make sure that we plan accordingly. This is our first go around with teams, so it is going to be a little bit of a learning curve this first season on what we'll do. But it's no different than our teams at headquarters in Chicagoland. The boys the seasons are the same. So they run into this stuff out there, and again, the answer is always they can do 2 out of 3, and we're going to be flexible. We just ask that you please communicate that with us ahead of time, and then they are going to be flexible with our game schedule for the IYBL. As we work directly with them, we're partnered with them, so we can make adjustments to the schedule if need be. Okay. Ooh, excuse me. All right. Training elsewhere. Can my player train somewhere else and still play with M14? Absolutely. We don't own any of these kids. We get it that you might have somebody that your kid might have somebody that they train with, that they build a relationship with, and that's their guy. Not a problem at all. It is allowed and it's encouraged. We just say they need to be in a lab working with somebody. Obviously, we think we're the best option, and it's helpful if you play for the same program that you train with, because our system is tied to it, but it isn't something that's going to make them more successful or less successful. Like, we're totally okay with it. As a matter of fact, we'd like to talk to their trainer so that we can make sure we're on the same page with stuff and help bridge that gap, because it's important, man. It's about the kid. It's not about us. Okay. Missing practices. Like I said, like, for example, with the girls season, the girls, they start later, right? Normally after winter break. So they would start during the winter season. They might have to miss one of the 2 practices during the week where they would already got through the fall. That's not going to be not the end of the world, right? We're going to be able to work with you. That's totally okay. And same thing with the boys at the beginning of the season, vice versa. Like I said, the school ball season is during the week, and generally it practice right after school. And they're in the school, that age will typically probably practice 7:30 to 9. So really, they should be able to do both. I mean, again, like I said, if there's a conflict because they got a game on practice day, not a problem. Just communicate that to us, and then we can work around it. And then, like I said, our games are on the weekends, which middle schools, they play their games during the week, so it shouldn't be a problem. Parent input on team placement. No, I don't care what your basketball background is. If you're a high school coach, you're a college coach, you're coaching the NBA, the placement is based on the M14 evaluation. And again, like we tell you guys in our academy teams, picking a group for a training class and picking a player for a team, they require two different criterias. So we are going to do that evaluation and place them where we see is best fit. Okay. What if a player doesn't make a team? They don't make a team. We do have other training options. That means they need to continue to work. They need more reps at training. And the other training options we have is in the winter is our winter training program, which is the winter overtime, and or they can do private lessons to get them right. And yes, we will communicate whether your kid made the team or didn't. Okay, you will get that communication from us. Developmental objectives by age. I told you guys this, like we have those different objectives, and the goal for each coach is to make sure that we accomplish those objectives based on the group that they're training or that they're coaching, excuse me. Okay. So for 3rd through 5th grade, it is learn it and love it. We want them to learn and love the game. Coach Matt and I went to, Matt is the founder of the company. We went to Lithuania a year and a half ago, and he did a coaching clinic. And he talked about, I guess he had did an interview with a club out of China though, and they asked him, you know, what's the first thing you want to get accomplished with the young players? Is get them to love the game. So that's what we're trying to accomplish. Get them to love it, right? Do you do anything that you love that you don't love? Nope, you don't. Right. So we want them to learn and love the game. All right. This is the pre-puberty phase where players should experiment and not be put in a box. So this isn't going to be one of those stages where your kid's the tallest, so they get stuck in the post. We won't even run an offense for them to get stuck in the post. It's 5 out. Everybody get opportunity to dribble the ball. Everybody's going to come off of handoffs, have to set a ball screen. This is where they got to really learn it, and they got to be able to experiment. Okay. So everybody will have to dribble, pass, and shoot in our offense, no matter the size. Okay, we don't do that. The tallest kid got to play the post because that's not where basketball is hit. And we got to make sure we prepare our players for success later on down the road. Okay, for 6th and 7th grade, they need to figure out who they are. Okay, so this is the time when they should be closer to figuring out who they are. Okay, this is the risk-taking phase, though. All right, so you might hear us encouraging your player to do some things in the game, maybe that you're encouraging them to do, or that you might not be as comfortable with them doing in the game because you guys are so conditioned to we got to win, 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 win. And I've been there before because I'm a parent, right? When your kid's sucking out there or they're doing something that maybe they haven't done in the game like that, you start to hide, like, please don't do that, or you get embarrassed. It's not going to be like that for us, okay? We want them to take some risk and we want them to truly figure out who they are. Okay. So we're going to encourage them to get outside the box. Now, doing it the right way, though. This isn't going to be and one mixtape where they're going to come up and dribble a million times to be able to beat one defender. That's not happening. Okay. And that we don't allow that in our training sessions. We definitely not going to allow that in the game, but we do want them to take more risk and to figure out who they truly are. Okay. If I didn't have a coach pushing me to do that at a young age, I would have just got stuck in the old school point guard box and I'd have never played Division I basketball. I was forced to get outside of that box, learn how to score, learn how to be a playmaker, guard the other team's best players. So we're going to challenge them to get outside of that comfort zone and take more risks in this age, okay? 8th grade is accept and inject. By this point, we want them to discover their strengths and apply it in competition. They should really know who they are by now. We should be narrowing it down. Am I a shooter? Am I a slasher? Am I an all-purpose player? Like whatever that is, okay? And when they need to pick that style of play, okay, that they're most comfortable with, whether it's a shooter, driver, etc., and do that in the game, like really, really good at those things. And in high school, it'll be dominate, okay? Dominate in your role, all right? Impact the game with your best skills. We always tell players, like, it's one thing they stress at headquarters for the high school players. They want them to look good in what they do. You don't want to go into the game when it's time to get recruited, right, and do things that you're not good at. You're not a good perimeter shooter. Stop shooting, right? Like you're open for a reason. You can go develop that in the offseason, but in the game, that's not a good time to try that. And I think a lot of players or just families in general we try to do things or encourage our kid to do things that they haven't worked on and they haven't done ever. Like, so in high school, it's about dominating in their role and all that. So third through fifth grade is learn and love it. Sixth and seventh, figure out who you are. Eighth grade, accept and inject, and in high school, dominate. Okay. From a competition and schedule standpoint, we will play in the IYBL. Okay. Teams will play appropriate challenging competition. So we'll be able to place them in the divisions within their grade level that we see as the most appropriate level for them. And we do have the flexibility to move them, right? So if we misplace the group, when we place them too low or we place them too high, we'll be able to adjust. A lot of times it's a crapshoot. You're just going off of what you've seen in the past. But you don't really know until you actually get in the league and see what that competition looks like at that age level. So we'll be able to adjust it. It's just making sure they play against appropriate competition. So we don't want them to be in a situation where they're beating beating teams consistently by 20 plus or losing by that much either, right? We want it to be appropriate competition. We want them to get challenged so that they're pushed and they're helped to get better. Okay. We're not gonna go out of state with some teams. So like we there's another question that we get. If a team is good enough, can we play in some AAU tournaments? We do have relationships with some tournament providers who will be offering some in-state AAU tournaments. If we got a group that's good enough and ready for it, we will present that to you guys. At that point, it'll be a group decision. So if everybody wants to do it, if we get enough from that team that want to do it, then we would do it. It's like one-off weekends, but that is not what you were originally signing up for. So that could be an option that will be presented on the table from time to time throughout the basketball season. Okay, it will be an additional charge for it. So it's like, hey, whatever that is, we would divide it by the number of players on the team and say, hey, it's an additional $30 for us to play in this tournament this weekend, and we'll go from there. Like I said, it'll be 16 games plus 2 tournaments built into the schedule already. Okay, because each IYBL season is 8 weeks. So they'll get 8 games, 8 regular season games in both seasons, and they'll get a tournament at the end of both seasons. And we will adjust based on the competition levels in each division for the league. So next steps. You can, if your player is not registered for tryouts, you do need to do that. I will throw the registration link in the chat. It will also be in that follow-up. It will be in that follow-up email that we send with the recording of this video. The registration link, and you can always access it on our website. But please get them signed up for tryouts if you want them to be there. Obviously, you guys should all know our contact information. That will be in the email as well. But you can call our Noblesville or Westfield location for any information or email us. All of us have that information. We'll be able to tell you guys. At the end of the day, we just need you guys to continue. You've always trusted us with your players' development. This is just the next phase of it. So I encourage you guys to continue to trust the process and understand our focus is development and teaching them how to compete. That is all I have. So now I'm going to open the floor for you guys to ask any questions that you might have. Does anybody have any questions?
Oh, I missed the first part, Nick. By the way, thank you so much for the details. I missed the first few minutes. So, are we meeting on Friday for the tryouts at a particular time, or would you be sending all this information over an email?
So, if you haven't signed so it sounds like you haven't signed your player up for tryouts. When you get on our website or you go to the registration link, it'll show you the time that your players' tryouts will be. So
I did. I did. So I probably have not looked into the website.
Okay,
So I'll go on and check.
We'll send a welcome email out as a reminder. What grade is your player in?
6th.
6th grade. So the 6th grade boys tryout will be 7 to 8:30 p.m. on Friday. And then it will be 3:30 to 5 p.m. on Saturday. And both will be at the Best Choice Fieldhouse. And again, that'll be in a welcome email that will be sent out on Wednesday this week.
Thank you, Coach Nick.
And all that information is on our website too, if you forget.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
I have one question.
Yep.
So with ours, for our school league, it's considered 3rd grade travel, but it's still our school. but they'll be playing the Hoosier. Oh, where is it? What's
The
it called?
HBL, who's your basketball
Yeah,
league?
yeah, that one. And then in the fall, and then in the winter, they're playing the Indiana Ball School League.
Mm-hmm.
So would it be okay if he was to make that school team? Would that still be okay to do M14 as well if
Yeah,
that was
absolutely.
the
Because
case?
it would be
Okay.
he would just be playing for them and us, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Just 2 out of 3. That's fine.
Okay.
Can't be
Okay.
three
Just
games.
wanted to make sure since it was still considered travel too, that it would be okay.
Yep. No, that's a great question. So
Okay.
when I say 2 out of 3, just you can't be playing for 3 teams. It's just not gonna work. But the two that should definitely work, and they're different leagues, so um, shouldn't be any conflicts.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
I also missed the first couple of minutes, and the one thing that I wanted to really get a sense of was what you had in the bullet points on the invite for the Zoom meeting is the coaching approach. I missed that. Could you kind of cover that again, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you. So all the teams will be coached by one of our full-time staff members, so our directors or core leaders, and then you could put me in there as well. So it's 5 of us. So it'd either be myself, Coach Randy, Coach Eric, Coach Deontay, or Coach Arion. And it all of us have to implement and coach the M14 system and philosophy. So, and it's a system that was designed by the founder of the company, Matt Miller, that attaches right to the training system, the system of development.
Mhm.
So, we won't have autonomy to come in and put in our own offensive or defensive philosophies. We will be using the M14 system. That's proven, by the way, right? We've been doing teams since
Mhm.
2018 in Chicago, and they've had a lot of success, and we're looking forward to having that here in Indy. So the one thing that we are fortunate enough to be in a position where they've already test run a lot of this stuff and cleaned up
Mhm.
some of the things, so we won't have to go through that process. But it'll be the M14 system. So at the younger ages, it's learn and love it. Everybody, it's a 5-out offense, so everybody's gonna get an opportunity to do a little bit of everything. We don't really start getting into positions until they get to high school, because we want them to be good at everything and have an opportunity to really develop a complete game.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for doing that.
Yep. Any other questions?
I just had a quick question about on the girls' side. What did you say about the teams? Are they going to be combined as far as like grade levels?
I didn't mention that, but so we want to keep them separate. So as long as we have enough girls that sign up for each grade level, so we'll have so meaning it'll be seventh grade girl. We'll have a seventh grade team. We'll have an eighth grade team. We won't, if we don't have to, we won't mix the two grades. But if numbers, um, because of numbers we have to, then we will. But right now, it doesn't look like we'll have to.
Okay.
Hi, what teams are they playing against?
They'll play against all the teams that'll be competing in the IYBL. So if you've been in the Pacer Athletic Center or Fence Creek, their in-house teams are Showtime and Prime Time. But during the fall and winter, there's a lot of school ball teams that compete in the IYBO as well. So it'll be a lot of different teams in there.
Okay.
And I haven't got the exact list, and it changes, right? But
Mhm.
there like you can
Is
get
it
on
a different league as ProNet
it
Sports?
is. So ProNet
Okay.
Sports plays they have their league is the HBL, who's your basketball
Oh,
league,
okay.
IYBL. They're two separate leagues.
Okay. All right. So they would play Showtime, for instance.
They could play a Showtime team,
Right.
yes.
Okay. Perfect.
They'll play
Okay.
any team that's in the IYBL,
All right. Okay.
which will be
Thank
some of those in-house teams like Showtime,
you.
Prime Time, Go Time, but also other clubs like school ball teams that are in it, and then Pro Skills, they're in IYBL. That's another club like that.
Okay. Perfect.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Any other questions? I have a FAQ. Here's some questions that we've received some facts. So the team fees are a reflection of both fall and winter seasons combined. Okay, we don't offer one season price. So it is very comparable to all the programs that compete in the IYBL, if you break it down by season. All right, siblings discount is another question that we've received. It's the same as our training program discount, where the second player gets 10% off, and then third or more, it's 20% off. But that discount will come off the fee, not the gear package fee. So, for example, for our first in the gear package is $225. So you just take that off of whatever the fee is, and then that's where the discount will come off of. So, for example, for the first and second graders, it'll come off the $770. That's where you'll see the discount, and then for third through eighth grade, it'll come off the $975. Our training programs will remain at Finch Creek and Pacer Athletic Center. Okay. Team M14 will run out of Best Choice. So if your player does our academy or any of our training programs, it'll still be in one of those facilities, depending on what location your player uses. Just our teams will run out of Best Choice. That's to eliminate confusion because they have their own in-house teams. Okay. I talked about this earlier. The seasons do collapse, so our team season will overlap with some of our training stuff. But again, remember, our training programs are structured to correlate with the basketball season. So the overlap, the structure allow them to do both if they want it, right? So if they're in our fall academy and they had to miss one of their academy classes because they have M14 practice, we do offer that makeup on Fridays where they can still get their 2 sessions in for the week. Number of players on the team. Remember, I said, at the younger ages, we definitely were going to be at the 9 or 10, like the first and second grade, just because so fluid at that age. But as they start to get older, 8 to 9 is really where we want to be in regards to number of players on the team. There could be a situation where we had 10 just because of numbers and number of players we had sign up at that grade. But you would know who's all on the team and the number of players before you guys committed and signed up. Some commonly asked questions that we receive: will there be spring and summer teams? The answer is yes. We will offer spring and summer teams. Trials for that will be at the end of February. Okay. We haven't released those dates yet, but it will be the end of February. The spring and summer season, or the spring season, excuse me, for the IYBL is March 11th through June 2nd. So it's a 13-week season. It's all combined in one. All right. Another question was, will M14 be offering high school teams? And the answer is no, we will not be offering high school teams this go around. But next year, when our eighth graders go into high school, we will offer it. So we're not going to all of a sudden be like, all right, you guys don't have a team anymore. We will grow with the eighth grade class. So our current ninth graders, they just missed out. We're not going to offer a team for them, but our eighth graders, we'll grow with them. So when the eighth graders become ninth graders, we'll have a ninth grade team. And when they become 10th graders, we'll have a 10th grade team, and so on and so forth.
I had a question about the spring and summer leagues teams. Is the cost the same there, or would that be a little cheaper possibly?
We have not come up with that cost, but
Okay.
it'll be comparable. So we'll go through
Okay.
the same math that we did to put together the price for this season.
Gotcha. Yeah. With the travel teams, the school travel teams, it is a little cheaper through the spring and summer. So just kind of wondering.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, we have not established what we're going to charge, but like I said, we'll probably use the same math. But
Mhm.
before you signed up, you would know what those fees are.
Okay. Thank you.
Where was not even going? Where was not even going?
A question for you though: do they for the school and travel teams in the spring, summer, do they practice twice a week, or are they just once a week?
In the spring it was twice, and in the summer it was once.
Okay.
And we played about the same number of games, not quite.
Okay, that's all good information to know. So we try to research to see kind of what everybody else is charging. We do the math, and then we come up with that price based off of that. So so you know the process
Yeah,
there.
at least as long as you're competitive, it sounds like a good deal.
Yep, it will be. Any other questions?
Well, it's up to you. You want to go? You don't want to go?
Awesome.
You want to get there
Well, it
later?
seems like you guys don't have any other questions. Again, I appreciate you guys taking out time of your Sunday to hear more about our teams. If your player is not signed up for tryouts, please get them signed up. We are looking forward to an awesome season. Like you can see, I already got my Team M14 gear on. We will have a store open soon, so you guys can rock that gear as well. You know, Coach Randy, Coach Eric, Coach Deontay, Coach Ariana, and I were all excited to be able to coach our players in games, to be able to help them through the process and help them be able to implement the stuff that we're working on in our classes. So we look forward to seeing your players. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to shoot us an email or a call. We'd be happy to answer. And if you got a player that with a friend that is looking for a team, hopefully you send them our way as well. Everybody have a good Sunday. Go Colts.
You do the go calls.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Hopefully you guys have a
Thank you.
better day than my Bears did.
Yes, for sure.
I don't know what to say about them. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.